Thursday, June 13th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. Had a pretty hot day yesterday, 90 the high in Charlotte, Raleigh, and Greensboro, 96 down in Columbia, Asheville, 90, even 83 up in Boone. So it was definitely a hot and relatively muggy day yesterday, although the humidity was still not that bad. It's very muggy this morning. Temperatures in the 70s almost entirely across the region. Even Boone at 72, Charleston's at 80 during the 5 o'clock hour this morning. Look at these dew point temperatures. They're way up there. A lot of low and mid 70s for dew points, indicating it is an extremely muggy air mass that we currently have in place. Now, here's the storm reports from yesterday, only a few of them. You had a couple of hail reports across the region, most of it in the nickel to quarter size range, and that was the case there in portions of Rockingham County near Eden. You had some quarter size hail rather there about 5:30 yesterday evening. Now, we've had a couple of little showers early this morning. Not much, but a couple showers out there nonetheless. That's just a sign that the atmosphere continues to really moisten up. There's your big storms. Again, this is during the 5 o'clock hour, the Eastern time this morning. Big, slowly decaying line of storms in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, back into southern Ohio and Indiana, too. And that's the tail end of what's been a pretty big severe weather outbreak over the past 24 hours. Look at all those storm reports, a lot of them. And now that severe weather threat shifting to the south and east for today. Now, as we get into late afternoon and evening, there come the thunderstorms developing on through the region. It will not likely be a big solid band of storms, but kind of a broken band of thunderstorms and scattered activities it moves through. Southwest winds really cranking ahead of the system today, and then northwest winds taking over tomorrow. Now, there's your severe weather outlook for today. Damaging winds, the biggest threat. Can't rule out some isolated tornadoes. I think the best tornado potential probably up a little bit off to our north in this region, but even down here, can't rule out an isolated tornado or two. So here's the deal. That cold front moving in, there's your thunderstorm activity rumbling through late afternoon and the evening, and then we're in pretty good shape as we head on into Friday and the weekend. Look what happens with our dew points by tomorrow. Those dew points really tumble well down into the 50s, even down into the Tennessee Valley. And that's a pretty low humidity air mass for this time of year. This is what it looks like in the upper levels. Big disturbance swinging on in. Behind it, we get that northwest flow. As we get into the weekend, that'll give us some nice weather, and then another little disturbance approaches as the humidity returns by Monday and Tuesday, bringing back the chance of thunderstorms. Now, tomorrow, again, northwest flow. Low and mid 80s, low humidity, a beautiful day, probably mid and maybe some upper 80s for Saturday. Father's Day still looks good, upper 80s, maybe a few low 90s creeping back in. But again, early next week, there's Monday and there's Tuesday. We bring back in those thunderstorm chances. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Have a good way of hearing watches and warnings as they're issued, and God bless.